If you were to interview several executives and ask them what the most critical factor to their success, most of them are going to say culture is really the most critical thing that leads to success within an organization. And then if you follow that up with the question of what are you doing to monitor, implement, develop an intentional culture, the most of them aren't going to have a really good answer. So we've created a culture framework, we call it the Blendification framework, that really drives an organization forward and gives the leadership team the opportunity to designate and intentionally design the culture that they want to have in their organization. Now, the culture actually sets the foundation, and then a strategy or a specific strategic platform can then be applied to build the culture through the strategy. And that's how we create this level of connectivity between culture and strategy. So looking at this company called MyDat, what they've done is they've used the Blendification format or the Blendification framework using a cause, an intention, and clear behaviors and habits. Now, why did we choose these as elements of culture? So when I started looking at what culture is, I went back and did some research on the definition, and culture is really beliefs, values, behaviors, actions, traditions, rituals, or habits. So if we're going to build a culture, and if it's a meaningful thing within an organization, shouldn't we start with defining what the culture is and then building it within that definition? So what we came up with is an organization needs to have a cause, a clear cause. What is that company really focused on doing? Why does it exist? And then from that, building a lower level of detail with an intention or statement of intention for its employees, customers, and communities. But what we're really after is this thing called the behaviors and habits. Many companies use values, but what I'm really looking for is how do we want the employees and the company to behave? And once we have these behaviors set up, and this company right here has a series of 5 behaviors, and if you look at those 5 behaviors, these are similar to values within an organization, but I think it's more meaningful to define the behaviors that we want to see within the organization. But underneath the behaviors, we want to also see what habits, because habits represent almost half of what we do all day, and organizations have habits. So what we need to do is define the habits that we want to see within the organization. And those habits are tied to, or they're a subset of the behaviors. So these behaviors, if done over time, create certain habits. So in the Blendification framework, we have cause, we have the organization statement of cause, a statement of intention, behaviors and habits, and then under that, we see that we actually write out what a specific behavior is, and then a series of, in this case, 5 specific habits. And we can blow up each one of these and see that each one of these behaviors has corresponding habits. And if you look at this, we have quite a few habits that we want to see existing within an organization. Once we've defined that, then we need to disseminate that and make it part of the DNA. So there's a whole practice around creating the culture and then making it part of our routines that we follow each day. That's repetition, but it's also some level of discussion, sharing various different stories and so forth. And that really is the Blendification framework for culture. And I believe that culture, when we look at culture, we need to define it differently because the world is quite different today. The employees are focused on much more than they used to. They want to obtain and pursue their potential through work. So we need to be looking at work as an opportunity for employees to make a difference through their work. And that might be a difference not just in their jobs, but a difference within their communities as well. And that's what the culture really outlines. And that also lays the foundation for a really solid strategic platform, because we all know what we're chasing when we define our cause, our statement of intention, and then the corresponding behaviors and habits within an organization.